Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kara.
So, Kara, I would say, what did you do last week? But we kind of hung out for a little bit last week, so I kind of know what you did. Kara's birthday was last Thursday, so I headed up to Columbus to go hang out with her on her birthday, and we did a couple of things. We went to a new park that opened up there, right, Kara? What was the name of that park we went to?
The Quarry Trails Metro Park.
Yeah, if you are up that way in Columbus and you have the opportunity to check it out, it's a really cool park. They have several trails you can hike. That go around the lake. There's like a really cool waterfall towards like the back side of it that was really neat that we went and checked out. That would be a lot of fun in the summer because you can actually take your shoes off and like probably walk in it.
Yeah, you can get down right by into the water almost. I mean, technically it says you're not supposed to, but people were.
Everybody does it. Yeah, I mean, even when we were there, it was like a kind of warm day, and there were people like walking down by it and stuff. So I'm sure in the summer it's pretty busy there. But on the back side of it, they have like a climbing wall, correct, Kara? Like an old quarry climbing wall that you can climb, I guess, in the summer. Yeah. Is that when they open that up?
I think that's when it's going to be opened.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, that section just got opened recently because it wasn't open before.
Right. The last time we were there like last year, almost to the year in the day. And only they had just, it's like right next to a brand new subdivision kind of thing that was going in. Like there's condos there and, kind of different spaces and some really cool houses that look out over the lake that's there and that. And they just opened that up last time we were there. So now they have this really cool whole other backside that has like there's like a training area there. We couldn't figure it out, like whether it's for like people that do like obstacle courses and that maybe, or whatever, because they had like these bridges that you could like climb up and down, and they had like tunnels you could go in and stuff. So I feel like it was like an obstacle training course type thing. It wasn't for bikes or anything like that, because I find it really hard to ride your bike up steps and down the steps to get across the bridge. But they had that there. You can also ride your bike around there. There's a lot of people that were riding bikes when we were there. They have a dog park there now that was not there last time we were there, which is really nice. It's all fenced in. You can let your dog run around there. And then there's like an old cemetery there too that's kind of cool. You should check out. We've talked about it on our Instagram page before. I've got pictures there if you're interested in seeing what it's like. It kind of reminds me of Pet Cemetery because like the whole backside of it has like all these sticks and stuff that you climbed over in Pet Cemetery to get to the rest of the Indian burial ground. But this one is just, it's a very old cemetery. You can tell by the way the gravestones are set up, and they have some of the dates on them. A lot of the dates have been rubbed off. And then what else was there, Kara? They have a really cool like playground area, like an inclusive playground area there for people, of all abilities and stuff that you can hang out on. There's benches. There's like a whole turtle area, which is really cool, where you can. Last time we were there, we saw a bunch of turtles, but for whatever reason, this time they were not active. But they have like this whole cool boardwalk across the water that you can walk on, and you can see. There's supposed to be like different turtle areas and stuff there you can check out. But that was a lot of fun and really neat. And then we went to the Witch Lab, which is in like, where's that at, Kara?
Downtown. That's about
okay. Yeah, basically, it's kind of like
somewhere in downtown.
It's not like
Columbus.
downtown, but it's like in the kind of like around the edge of downtown. That place was really cool. Yeah. If you're into like incense and rocks and tarot cards and all that, they had all kinds of cool stuff there.
Taxidermy.
Oh, if you're into taxidermy, they had all kinds of really strange and odd taxidermy animals that you don't usually see, which was kind of cool. They had a really neat albino raccoon that Kara wanted to buy really bad, I think.
I know, it was $500. I was so tempted.
Yeah, I know. He was cool. And they had some other cool looking I think there was wasn't there a jackalope there too, I thought I saw? Oh, no, they had all kinds of different things there that were available for purchase.
There's a cool snake one.
Yeah, they had like a snake one where like it was just the bones of the snake. It was really cool the way they had it in the thing. And then they also have like other herbs and stuff to make tea and stuff like that for you there too, if you're interested in all that stuff. But that place was really neat. And then we had brunch at our friend's house, which her house is haunted. Now we didn't see any ghosties or we didn't see or feel anything while we were there per se, but I hear they like to mess around with them sometimes. That was Matt and
silly.
Yeah, that was Matt and Elizabeth's house. But the house is really beautiful. Their house was built in did they say the 1900s, right? So it's like over 100 years old.
Yeah.
125 years to be exact. But yeah, their house is really cool. And then I had to do mom prom with Sam over the weekend on Saturday. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that boy took me out to Montgomery and the Montgomery and Boathouse for ribs and chicken for our dinner. Like he paid for it. I know. I was shocked.
How nice of him.
I know. So that was fun. And then we hung out with his friends and their parents and their moms. So that was neat. So that pretty much catches. Fun. Yeah, it was fun. Then this weekend we got to celebrate Grandma's 80th birthday. So we were supposed to go to
my birthday parties this weekend.
Yeah, and you have a birthday party on Friday, right? Friday night?
Yep.
You and the posse's getting together and having a birthday party, so that'll be fun.
Yep, the theme is fun.
There you go. Anything else go on since I've seen you last? It was just like a couple days ago.
Not really, nothing too crazy. We were just here.
Yep, just hanging out, catching up on all the work you got to do. I get it.
Basically, a lot of editing.
Yep. Oh my God, I saw the coolest thing on the internet the other day, and I don't ask me why. But anyway, I was, how you get sucked into the internet all the time. There was a video out from Florida. Of course, It's Florida. And there was and this like happened in the Everglades National Park. I guess it was yesterday. And somebody had video of an American alligator and an American crocodile like fighting with one another on like right outside of the park, like right out of the water there in the Everglades. And they said that's the only place in the world where those two coexist together. The crocodile and the alligator, because one's saltwater and the other one's freshwater. And anyway, they were fighting over territory and that. But you got to check out the video. It was pretty cool the way they were fighting and stuff. It's like two dinosaurs going at it. It was pretty gnarly.
Really?
Yep. Don't ask me who won because I didn't watch it that long, and they didn't really show all of it. They just showed them like fighting with each other and their jaws snapping and stuff. It was pretty crazy though.
That is pretty crazy.
Yep. Did anybody get to see the blood moon eclipse the other day? I did. I know Kara did.
Yeah, I was woken up.
Yeah, I made sure. Oh my gosh, I didn't get home till like midnight, and I was drunk as a skunk, and I fell asleep.
Oh
Mrs. Raleigh got us set. And I'm like, oh my God. So, but I had to set the alarm for 3:00 to get up because I wanted to see this stupid thing. So I had like 4 alarms going off in a period of like 20 minutes. Well, I got outside like you saw my photos. It was like right after the full eclipse, so the moon was starting to the Earth was starting to go, get out of the shadow of the moon, so you could start to see, but it was still orange, thank goodness. So I did get some photos. They weren't as great as they could have been because I overslept because I was so inebriated and
Yeah, Mario stayed up to make sure that we could see.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, unfortunately, Dad had no interest. Dad was like snoring logs. I'm like, wow, great. And I think Sam had school the next day, so he couldn't. Yeah. So I was like, dang it. So yeah,
we drove to a park.
Oh yeah. Wait, you really did? You drove to a park to go check it out?
Yeah.
Cool. Was it the one that we went to the other day when I was there? Or is it...
Yeah, okay. It was that one.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. It's not that far away from you guys, and it's, not a lot of light there to pollute it. Not a lot of light pollution, so that's cool.
Yeah, just to help make it a little nicer.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty neat. That won't happen again for another, I think I saw 3-4 years.
Yeah,
so
that's why I decided to get up, because I really did not want to wake up when Maury was trying to get me.
Yeah.
I was like, I know it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, that was very neat, I gotta admit. There's been some pretty cool stuff going on the past couple of years, like between the big eclipse that happened last year.
Last year.
And then
that was getting ready for around this time. Remember?
Yep. And then we had this. Yeah, that's right. It was in the first week of April or whatever. And then we also had the
it was April.
Oreo Borealis that we were able to see also shortly after that. Do you remember that? Because I got photos of that where you could actually see it this far. This far south, I guess you would say, because we are south of where it normally hangs out up north near Canada and all that. But yeah, crazy things happening in the world. So anyway, I guess we can go ahead and get started for this week. I'm going to go ahead and go first. And this week, I am actually talking about a haunted place for a change. Yay, finally, a haunted place. It's been a while. Which is hysterical because she also decided to do a haunted place. So we both have haunted places this week.
Yeah, I'm doing a haunted place
So
also.
we have a theme this week, and apparently we're doing haunted stuff again. So mine is about the Morgan Monroe State Forestry. This is north of Bloomington, Indiana, by the way. And this particular park actually houses one of the most famous haunted cemeteries in the state of Indiana, which I did not know until I started doing research on this. So it has a lot of elements of folklore and supernatural stuff that happens and are intertwined in the story of this particular cemetery. So this cemetery is located off of Old State Highway 37. It is a small abandoned cemetery around which a number of eerie legends and stories are associated with it. Now, the cemetery is called Stepp Cemetery, and it's located on a desolate and lonely road that time and people seem to have forgotten. And the cemetery was apparently developed in the early 1800s. And this particular plot of land has been known to be haunted by the locals throughout the history of the land. And the cemetery can actually be found at the end of a very narrow dirt trail that winds through the wilderness, through the forest that surrounds it. So only about 24 grave markers remain, and all of them are old and crumbling, because no one has been buried there in decades. Now, there's one area of the graveyard that's particular interest to the story that I'm going to be talking about today, and that, a lot of the hauntings that go on there are related to this certain section. And the section that I'm referring to is a section of graves that are on the southern edge of the cemetery. And this is the focus of a lot of the paranormal activity that seems to be happening in this cemetery. So apparently the story goes that a ghost woman who watches over the gravesite and the cemetery at the darkest hours of the night, that there's this lady that can be seen there. So over the years, many people have claimed that she will sit. There's this old tree stump that sits next to these gravestones. If you look at them I think they said to the right of them, there's this tree stump. And the tree stump is almost in the shape of a chair. And they say that she likes to sit in this tree stump and watch over and protect the graves because people believe it is the grave site of her loved ones. So the history of this cemetery is, like I said, as mysterious as the ghost who likes to stand guard there. No one knows when exactly it was started. We just know it was started in the 1800s or who started it. Now, forest rangers think that it was started by area families, but local rumors say that it was actually started by a religious cult that took its home there, and the religious cult's name was called the Crabbits. And this particular cult apparently liked to perform rituals that involved being naked. And when people would when people would come to that area, they would see them doing these naked rituals and stuff. People would claim later on down the road, years later, that you can hear chanting coming from the cemetery, and people think it's what's left of the Crabbite cult going there to do their rituals. They were also known to be snake handlers, so they were messing with snakes also when they were doing all this. And it's said that they also spoke in tongues and they would have sex orgies. Now, local lore has it,
What?
yeah, that is sex orgies. Yeah, that's apparently what this cult was into, and they would use all this stuff to, pay homage to their gods and goddesses or whatever they believed in. Nobody really knows what exactly they believed in, but they do know that they did do all this stuff, because apparently there was a story that at one point one of the deputies from the town went out there, got called out there to handle a situation that was going on by the Crabites, I guess. And he had to break it up. And it was like really bizarre, this ritual that they had been doing. And the story goes that he had to use a bullwhip to settle things down. Now, I don't know if that means he had to like use it on people or what. It never was said, or if he like joined in on the activities. Nobody really knows, but that's the story that they whisper about in town about when the Crabites were out there practicing their rituals and stuff. They would use, the cemetery was like part of the area that they would use. There was also some areas in the forest that they would use for some of their stuff, but it was mainly the cemetery that they liked to go to and use for some of their weird rituals that they were into. So there's a legend of this spectral woman that I was telling you guys about earlier that is strange also. So the story goes that this young woman came from the east, and she ended up marrying her husband. And her husband was like a local, I guess, and he went to work for one of the local quarries. And they settled down, and lived out that way, and they had a daughter. Well, one afternoon, the husband was at work in the quarry when a stick of dynamite, I guess when they were, kind of blasting out there, went off too soon or something, and the explosion ended up killing him. And that was when he got buried in the Stepp Cemetery. Now, after that, her daughter became her life, and she would watch over her daughter as she grew. And you know how that is, like when somebody has that kind of tragedy in their life, they find something else to focus on. So she focused on her daughter, and she watched over her daughter as she went to school. And then later her daughter met a man of her own. Well, one night the daughter and the boyfriend were, I guess, out driving around, and they ended up getting killed in an automobile accident. So the daughter ends up getting buried in the same cemetery as the dad. Okay. So as you can imagine, as I told you, the mom, had put all her life and all her, hopes and dreams in the daughter. So when the daughter died, the mom basically, this lady lost all hope and all that. So she began to make nightly treks to the cemetery, and she would wear black because she was a widow, and her daughter had passed away and she was in mourning. And she would just sit for hours on the tree stump that was near those graves and talk to her husband and daughter as if they were alive. Now, the townspeople would see her, sitting out there sometimes when they were, out about and doing things. And when anytime anybody came to like approach her to ask her if she was okay, she would hurry up and run away. So as time went on, there became, people began to make up stories about her, about the lady in black that just sits there and cries and wails and, talks crazily to her dead husband and daughter. And eventually, the town pegs her as like the crazy, lady that lives there. Well, eventually she ends up dying, I guess, from a broken heart or old age or one of those things. And she ends up also getting buried there. So later, after she dies, to this day, people will say that when they, if you go by the cemetery, and you got to do this like a really, late at night, like, past midnight, maybe, more around 3 o'clock when the veil between our world and the spirit world is, not as thick, and, people say you can talk to spirits and that. You can see her sitting out there by the grave. They say, watching over it to make sure nobody messes with it and to keep an eye on her loved ones. Now, a lot of people say that they've been scared off by this creepy, lady in black. And they say that sometimes when they go to the cemetery and they'll like call out thinking that it's somebody else there, you know, like, hey, stop, or who are you, or whatever. And when the person, this thing, person, ghost, entity, whatever you want to call it, will turn, and you can't see like anything hardly. But they do know that sometimes she appears as it's a woman, so they know, you know, obviously it's a, they think that it's, you know, this woman that had lost her family. People say that when they do see her, when she's in full, you know, apparition form, and you can tell like her features in that, they say that she has long hair, and you can like see her black dress and her like veil that she wears over her face to, hide her eyes and all that. But there are so many stories of people seeing this woman crying, you know, by her daughter and husband's gravesite. There's also stories of people hearing chanting in the woods from the cult, I guess, that used to hang out there all the time. And people said strange things have happened to them when they've gone out there to investigate in that. It's a highly active area. People say it's still active to this day. In fact, I found a story where somebody had just been there, I want to say like within the past 5 or 6 years. And you can go there. Like, a lot of people will go visit it. Like I said, it's outside of Bloomington, Indiana, and it's in that park that I told you guys about, that if you go to that park that you can find it. So that is my story this week. The lady that, you know, cries over her loved ones and watches their grave to make sure that nobody messes with it and to make sure that they're okay.
That's crazy.
I was just going to say that it was creepy that there was also like a cult involved.
Yeah, the cult activity was definitely...
Yeah, I think so too. It's weird. I had never heard of this cult, so I looked it up a little bit just to see if it really did exist. And from all the stories I can find, it did exist, but there's not a lot of information on it. And they really were called the Crabites, and they really did believe in like snake handling and all that. So I thought that was very interesting, because that's more of like a southern kind of like, you know, down in Appalachia type thing with the snake handling and that. So I found it interesting that this particular group of people were into the snake handling and stuff. So anyway, so what are you doing yours on today?
Today we're going to be talking about the Clown Motel. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this one's spooky.
This is known as America's Scariest Motel. That's like a title.
I couldn't sleep with like freaky clowns staring at me all night long.
I really want to stay here. I think it would be a fun, enriching experience. And it's haunted.
Until the clowns start moving and touching you in the middle of the night. Yeah, then it won't be such a great experience.
Then it'll be an elevated experience. So
you better take some calming stuff before you go.
Yep. The Clown Motel is located in Tonopah, Nevada, which is like, I think it's 4 hours or something away from Vegas. It's not as close to Vegas. The Clown Motel opened in 1985 by Leroy and Leona David. It was found to honor their father, Clarence David, who had a collection of 150 clowns. He was actually buried in the cemetery next door.
Okay.
So that's why they did it there specifically.
Mm-hmm.
On February 23rd, 1911, so this was a mining town, a fire...
Yeah, aren't the mines supposed to be haunted near there too?
Yes, there was a mine... there was a fire in the mines near there, and it killed like 17 miners, and 14 of them were actually buried in
in the same cemetery as the guy that... wonderful.
So it was a very full cemetery.
Yeah, sounds like it.
300 people it has there, I believe what I saw. It was not open very long, like maybe 10 years before it was filled up.
Wow, that's crazy.
It
filled up that quick.
It's very ominous looking. Cause it's
it is.
Because, you know what I mean? Like a desert graveyard. It's odd.
Well, it's just crazy that they're able to dig dirt in the desert to bury people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, how do they even, like, dug it? Because
it's very dry and hard. Systems. Yeah.
Well, no, but remember New Orleans, they can't bury their dead underground.
Right.
So they have,
yeah, they got mausoleums, and they got
Yeah.
They go up, not down, because it's so
So I'm
swampy
surprised
down
they
there.
don't do things like that.
I know, you would be surprised. But apparently they were able to dig, because there's a lot of dead bodies there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot.
But did you come across, like, when it rains, though? Because it can get so saturated so quickly that sometimes the coffins pop up also there.
Ew.
Yeah, I saw a story about that. Not in New Orleans. I'm talking about out in Nevada when they get all that rain.
Vegas.
Because, it's so dry and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So, when you walk inside, you were immediately greeted by clown figures completely, like, all over their lobby.
Oh, my gosh,
Currently, they have 2,000 clowns on display. Yes. It started with the 150, but now they're at 2,000. And you can, to this day, still donate a clown. So, if you have a clown you want to donate, you can go ahead and send it to them. They're trying to beat the world record of how many clowns you have on display. Currently, it's like 4,000. So
wow. They have a ways to go, yeah.
They have ways to go.
Okay, that's it. I'm just going to start finding clown stuff everywhere and just start sending it to them.
Yeah.
Now, does it have to be dolls, or can it be, like, figurines? Can it be anything as long as it's
clown
related?
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to just be, like, figures. It could be, like, paintings and stuff. Because they have a lot of clown paintings, too, hung up everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just, like, clowns on display. So it must be, like, clown things, items. So they actually have a disclaimer on their website for when you stay there. It says paranormal activity disclaimer. It says, by visiting the Clown Motel, you acknowledge that you may encounter interaction with spiritual and or unexplained phenomenon and or other unexplainable, unusual, or paranormal activity or interactions which may include risk which may or may not be foreseeable. The Clown Motel will not be held liable for any bodily injury, damage to personal property, emotional distress, death, or other harm caused by the aforementioned. So if the ghosts get you, they will not cover your bill. Wow.
No funeral expenses covered by them if you get scared to death by the clown, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, if the clowns get you, you're cooked. Literally.
I get it, though. If they don't say that, you're going to have somebody come after them. You know what I mean?
The ghost gave them an illness.
They have emotional
stress.
Emotional
I
abuse
know.
from the
I know why they put that. Someone probably tried to abuse it.
Oh, I'm sure.
They had to get that lawyer in place. So we're going to talk about some of the rooms you can stay at. Okay. I actually looked up the prices. It's not that expensive. It's like $130 a stay, which is not bad.
That's not bad at all
for like a motel in the middle of the desert.
I would only stay one night, though. I don't know that I'd want to stay more than that.
Oh yeah. So room 111 had a terminally ill man living out the rest of his days there. Because I guess that was a popular thing to do, was to like just stay at a motel until you died, instead of staying in a hospital. So he went to bed every day, like basically thinking he was gonna die. And at one point, he started to notice an eerie shadow appearing in his room, like early in the mornings. And he would beg this shadow to just take his life and kill him, so he didn't have to live.
My God.
I was getting a little dark.
That's pretty, That's
pretty, and then overwhelmed by frustration, he ended up just killing himself in the parking lot.
Oh my gosh. Well, no wonder why they have to have this, like, claimer, I guess. Jeez, Pete's.
Yes! What the hell?
Gosh, that's crazy.
So another room, 107, had been closed to the public for 4 years after multiple deaths occurred in the room. It was used for storage for a bit, and then even when the room was not in use, people would still report odd sounds occurring in the middle of the night. Like dragging furniture, loud conversations going on, and banging on the walls when it was just used for, like, storage or whatever.
Huh. That's weird.
Which is odd. Yeah. So room 108 is one of the more active rooms, and has reports of disembodied voices, flying objects, and just things going missing. They named the entity in there the Trickster.
Sounds
and
about right.
Occasionally it'll take the form of a clown to harass visitors.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, that one, I wouldn't be staying in room 108. I'm out.
Yeah, there have been reports of this spirit traveling to to the room from the cemetery, so people would see him outside. Like,
oh,
traveling.
dear Lord. That is, yeah, no, I'm
that
out.
sounds horrifying.
Yeah, right? God, nothing like looking outside and the next thing you know, it's inside your room. Yeah, no, I'm out on that one.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The room 214 has a spirit that hides your belongings, and he'll turn the lights on and off during the night.
No.
And quite a few guests have actually reported seeing a 7-foot tall clown standing at the foot of their bed while they wake up in a cold sweat.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good on that one, too.
Some visitors report nothing, but then others refuse to come back or even come to get their belongings.
Yeah, they leave their... I can see crazy. That. Yeah, leaving your belongings behind after that experience.
Getting so scared. Yeah, if I woke up and the clown at that my bed, I'd kind of scared.
I'd be there. I'd leave all my stuff and run.
I'd be like, we're done here.
Yep.
Out. We're out. So fun fact, this city that the Clown Motel in is also the city where the Mizpah Hotel is, which is home to the Lady in Red.
Ooh,
you know who that is?
No, I don't. But
she was strangled to death in the hotel by her jealous ex-lover between rooms 502 and 504. She is said to haunt the fifth. And Lady Gaga's new song, Abracadabra, actually mentions the Lady in Red.
Really?
Like this specific.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I had looked it up, and it's like an actual like folklore kind of tale. But it's crazy. It's in the same location as the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It makes you wonder just what's
Motel.
going on at that land.
Is there like a lot of weird energy going on?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And then Ghost Adventures that went here, of course.
Yes. Oh my God, I saw that episode. That was
and they captured a footage of a life-size doll moving on its own when they were there.
Yep, I remember seeing that.
Kind of scary.
Very scary.
But that's what I have, and you should definitely totally go stay there.
Yeah, go check it out. Let us know how it is. If you stayed there, we'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, they let YouTubers. I was reading their like on their website or whatever. And they said that you can stay there to, like, you know, film for content or YouTube or whatever, but you have to, like, make a donation, I guess, to the hotel.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's better than them charging them to do it, because some places, like obviously you pay to stay at the hotel, but they'll let you, like, film in the areas.
Yep. Very interesting.
Anything
No, I think that's it this week.
I'm hoping I'll be able to check out this Clown Motel.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're hoping we might be able to stop out there on our road trip later this year.
That'll be fun.
Hopefully. Because we were talking about maybe staying there a night.
You have to let me know how it goes.
Oh, God. I don't know if any of us will be sleeping that night.
I have a feeling y'all are going to be awake all night long, honestly.
With the scary... There's a whole It room specifically, too.
Nuh-uh.
But there's the Pennywise painting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, they have like a bunch of interesting themed clown rooms. I want to go so bad.
That sounds interesting.
Alright. Well, if we don't have anything else today, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Two Scaredy Cats Podcast. And don't forget to leave a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show get discovered. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity can kill these two scaredy cats.